We know that global warming has a huge impact on mountain areas, melting glaciers, changing plant species, and even degrading the permafrost, resulting in landslides and other events like rockfalls. What is often forgotten, though, is the central role of soils in climate change. Yes, soils are heavily affected by global warming, but they can also help to mitigate it.
So here around us we have a lot of soils that are huge reservoirs of carbon, and in fact worldwide there is even more carbon stored in the soils than in the atmosphere and the vegetation together. So as we know, carbon cycle plays an important role in climate change. This is also why soils are so important for us if we talk about climate change.
But how does this carbon end up locked in the soil? Well, with the help of plants by means of photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is transformed into the oxygen we breathe and the organic carbon in plant tissues. The plants store carbon in their tissues, and in this way they grow. By means of litter fall and dead roots, part of plant carbon ends up in the soil. With the help of numerous soil organisms, most of them being too small to be seen with the bare eye, while others are big and well known, such as earthworms, plant residues are transformed into humus, the fine, dark organic matter stored in the soil. This is why soil organic matter is not only essential for soil fertility, but it also stores considerable amounts of carbon. Thus, soils are the largest terrestrial carbon reservoir, contributing to mitigate climate change.
The good news are that soils can really help us to mitigate climate change. But also there are limitations, because if we change the land use, for instance, from forest or meadows to intensive agricultural land, or even that we seal the soil completely, then we also lose or reduce the ability of soil to store carbon for us. And besides land use change, also climate change itself can be a problem to the ability of soils to regulate our climate, because if it gets warmer, then the organic matter in the soil will be decomposed faster, and in this way the carbon gets released back into the atmosphere and we will lose humus and the carbon storage.
Where we are now is the place where the glacier stopped at the end of a little ice age in the middle of the 19th century. Now the glacier front is really far from there, more than 1 kilometer. It means that we lost a huge amount of water, and after the glacier retreat, we have to imagine a bare surface with sediments which can be eroded and transported down to the valley. But at the same time, this place is a unique laboratory which allows soil scientists, as we are, to understand and study the soil forming processes and the rate of soil formation. And what we found that to form such a unique soils in the Alps takes quite a long time, and also very complex processes. And really, we have to keep in mind that what we have below our feet is something which has been created in a very fascinating and unique way.
With this changing climate, another common but extraordinary event is in danger: snowfall, affecting the health of the soil in a really unexpected way.
During winter in mountain, we may expect that the soil is frozen due to the cold air temperature. That's not true, because thanks to the presence of a snow cover, a consistent snow cover, the soil is really well protected from extreme air temperature. And so the living components of soil could survive during the winter time. What is happening now, that due to global warming, at certain elevation in the Alps, we have less and less snow cover. Therefore, the soil is not protected from air temperature. It could freeze. And so this could affect the living components of soils. As a scientist, we can say that we are observing colder soils in a warmer world.
So the climate and the soil are closely linked. It is a permanent dialogue, but a dialogue in which humans do have a role to play.
So in the future, we will face higher temperature, more droughts, more heavy precipitation, and actually soils are our best friends to face those challenges. There are some parameters of soils that we can influence as humans. So for example, in agriculture, by mulching, by organic fertilizing, we can increase the soil organic matter content. And by doing this, we store carbon in the soil, and also more water can be stored in the soils. So to get an idea, it's about hundreds of liters of water under 1 square meter of soil that can be retained from flooding. So regarding climate change, it's essential that we change our land use in order to make them fit for the future. And this means including soil knowledge in the land use practices.